Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. PK Doomy here, hope you enjoy. I'm pretty excited to do this tier list, to be honest, because this tier list just came out recently and they finally nerfed Zacian. They finally nerfed Urshifu, well, Water Strike Urshifu, which was definitely needed. So we're gonna go ahead and go over the quick changes real quick and then we'll go ahead and put them in the tiers. So Aegislash stat defense went up, its special stats also went up, and then the Shadow Claw damage got increased by 5%, which is not as big as you'd think, but when you actually see it in gameplay, it is pretty good. Marill got a huge, it doesn't really feel like a huge buff, but when you actually play it, Marill feels like an absolute raid boss beast right now. But it's pretty much just critical hit multiplier increase from 150 to 170. And then for Buzzwole, he got also a defense increase and special defense increase. His leech life went up from 50% to 75%, and then his superpower base value shield went from 8 to 12% of maximum HP. Also, additional shields increased from 1.5 to 2% of maximum HP multiplied by muscle game amount. So that's pretty solid. And then Dragonite also got a buff, which also makes it feel like a raid boss beast as well as Marill. They feel both very strong right now. They feel stronger than Buzzwole to me at least. And so its multi-scale damage reduction went from 25 to 30%. Its attack increase went from 110 to 130 to 110 to 150. And then its dex increase went from 150 to 520 to 165 to 550, which isn't that big of a change, but you can feel it. You can feel the difference. So we're going to go ahead and put those in, and then there was also quite a few nerfs. So Glaceon finally got nerfed to trios. Boosted attack damage got decreased by 10%, which can be pretty huge in certain fights. Lapras also got another Water Pulse nerf, Bubble Beam nerf, and its Unite got nerfed. And then Surging Strikes, Urshifu finally got nerfed with damage decreased by 10%. Zacian also got nerfed, but not really in terms of damage, just more in terms of its standard attack, reach, and then its enhancement from its passive. And then also its stun on Sacred Sword went down from 0.6 to 0.2, which is 3 times less than it was before, so that should work. And which hardens me the most, Sableye got a nerf, reducing its damage by 15% on knockoff, which is crazy big. And its HP decreased by 1000 once you reach level 15, which is pretty big, you know. So we're gonna go ahead and start putting them into the tier list. So let's go ahead and get started. Give me a second. Alright, so we're off with, I'll start with Pikachu first because I've been playing Pikachu a lot lately and I'm loving it. We're gonna go ahead and put Pikachu in A tier because I just feel like that's where he should be essentially. And then we're gonna go on to our S tier. I feel like Dragonite is definitely with this buff is in S tier now. Let's see, Marill definitely in S tier. I mean, I'm seeing people do 150,000 damage with it now, easy, getting 14 KOs, stuff like that, which is pretty crazy. All right, so let's continue. Let's see, Cinderace. We're gonna put Cinderace in. Let me see here. Where should we put Cinderace? I think it should go in A tier because it's just as well as Pikachu. Might be a little bit more damaging, but it's basically attack speed so quick and just the damage you can output. But Pikachu's Unite's also pretty solid. Now we're on to Garchomp. Garchomp, I feel like, is in a tough spot because he didn't get a buff from these buffs. So I'm gonna go ahead and put him in C tier. Cram's always been pretty good, very high damage dealing, depends how you play of course. We're gonna go ahead and put Cram. I'm feeling like it should be in B tier for now. Alolan easily A tier. Wigglytuff It's kind of fallen off, so I'm gonna put it in C tier. Venusaur, I feel like deserves S tier, just because you could either go Petal Dance or Solar Beam, and I have 80% win rate with Venusaur, which is really good. Champ, I'm gonna go ahead and put him in B tier because I do feel like he is a solid all-rounder. All right, now we're off. I've been seeing a lot of really good Scizors lately. I believe Scizor with the damage it can do, how tanky it is, how much life you get, HP you get back, I believe it should be in S tier. Now we're on to Zacian. Even with his nerf, I still feel like it's really good. So I'm gonna keep it in S tier for now because it didn't get a damage decrease, it didn't get an HP decrease, it just got a distance on its boosted attack decrease, which is good, but at the same time not strong enough. Alright, let's see, who should we choose next? I feel like with Glaceon getting that nerf, I'm gonna push it down to A tier, just because Ice Whisper was so broken before and now it's not. Now we're on to Leafeon. Leafeon is definitely still S tier, it hasn't gotten nerfed. Mr. Mime, I'm gonna put him in D tier just because that's where he is right now. You know, that's where he is right now. He needs a buff. Alright, we're on Charizard. I feel like Charizard, he's overall okay, but with his Unite is what puts him in front of other characters, other Pokemons. We're gonna put him in A tier. We're at Snorlax. I feel like Snorlax is solid B tier. Zera, we'll wait for that. You know why, Zera fan. We'll make you wait for it. Gressel, I feel like Gressel should be in C tier for now. Eldegoss, very solid healer. Does fall behind at some point, so we'll put it in B. Go on to another support, Comfey. Even with a nerf, Comfey still feels pretty solid, as if you have someone that you can connect to that's a really good player, of course, you know, but on its own it's useless. It truly is. Chandelure is in a good place, so leave it in A tier. Espeon, even with the nerf, is still really good, but we're gonna put it in S tier for now. Buzzwole, with the buff it got, it's so huge of a buff to, like, in a 1v1, you're not gonna beat Buzzwole pretty much, in close combat especially. Dugtrio, with that nerf, I'm gonna put it in B tier for now. Zoroark also, I believe, should be B tier. Urshifu, even with that decrease in damage, I still feel like it's pretty high up there, so I'm gonna give it A tier. Tyranitar is still in a bad place. I'm gonna give it D tier for now. D tier is not the worst, it's just it needs a buff, it needs something to change, because with Tyranitar, it's no good till level 9, and you really can't afford not to be helping out your teammates or getting objectives or getting KOs or scoring in those first 9 levels. I mean, you really need it. Trev is just such a good defender. It's unkillable sometimes. It does high damage. It's good at disrupting. So we're gonna leave it in S tier. I've played Sableye since this nerf, and I feel like he is very weak now. Other than scoring and disrupting, he doesn't stand a chance against anyone now. So we're gonna be putting him in D tier, even though he's my favorite, my main. So he's in D tier. I do wish he would get a buff, make it easier for me. Decidueye, I feel like Decidueye should be in B tier. I give it B tier. Absol is so easy to play, does such high damage with all his moves pretty much hitting crit, so we're going with A tier for that. Delphox is also a really solid A tier. Mon, I feel like it should be there easily. Hoopa is a really good support. I'm feeling like A tier because just where it is right now. Because, you know, just being able to, the Unite is extremely strong. Being able to steal berries, being able to teleport your teammates back to respawn and back with full HP, you just can't beat that ability right there. Dura, I'm gonna put him in D tier just because he is in a very tough place right now. Actually, we'll put him in C tier. I think Arena should be in D tier just because of how many nerfs it's gotten, where it is. You never see it anymore, especially in ranked. You won't be seeing it. Sylveon is very balanced. I'm gonna give it A tier. Mamoswine, I'm feeling C tier. Greedent, easily A tier. Aegislash, with the buff, I'm gonna put in A tier because I feel like the buff was good, but not that big to be S tier, essentially. Umbreon, of course, still S tier. I feel like even with Lapras nerf, it's still really good, so I'm gonna put an A tier for now. Slowbro's always been solid. Like, he is just so tanky. He also does damage, and he can really make it happen with his Unite, just taking down somebody who's just too tanky to take down. I'm gonna put him in S tier. Gardevoir, always a good attacker, always a good choice, depending on your team. We're gonna put in A tier. Blissey, amazing support, A tier. Lefable, amazing support, A tier. Just both of them, they heal so easily. They disrupt, you know, they make it happen for the team. Blastoise, I'm gonna put in B tier just because I feel like it's not that good of a defender. Goodra is still really good, especially with its, it didn't get any changes this time, but it did get a buff in the last patch, so we're gonna put an A tier. Excuse me. Lucario, you really don't see Lucarios anymore, but I feel like Lucario is like B tier. Could be A tier depending how you play. Talonflame, you don't ever see any Talonflames, but I know Talonflame, it's a hit and run type of thing. You hit them and you run. You get the KO and you run. Or essentially you fly instead of running because you fly. And it's really good at scoring. We're going to put it in B tier. Now we're on to Greninja. Greninja, I mean, even though he's essentially still really good, you don't really see him. But he is a really good attacker, so I'm going to put him in A. Now we're on to Zera. Zera's in a tough place right now. I feel like it hasn't gotten much done, but it's still really solid, so we're going to keep it with B tier. Now we're on the Mew. I don't play Mew much. It's probably my least played Mon, so I'm going to have to put an A tier, just based on what I see from most Mews and where it is. And then we're on to Dragapult. Dragapult's really good attacker, just especially with attack speed, crits, escapes. We're going to put an A tier. And then Gengar. Gengar is in a tough place. I'm going to put him in C tier, just because with all the crowd control and AoE going on, it is tough for him to get it done. So I hope you enjoyed patch 1.10.1.3's updated tier list, and if you did, don't forget to press that like button, comment down below, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day.